Oh, should I bring this closer? I feel bad. My voice doesn't project that well sometimes. Wow, this is old. That's impressive. It's still working?
It is, yeah.
Because Apple does that thing where they like phase stuff out so that you have to buy their stuff.
Yeah.
They like kill it from space.
I'll still buy everything you make, but I know what you're doing.
So your episode last week, I thought was really beautiful, really well done. What can you talk, like, can you reflect a little bit about how it felt for you to portray that character?
I mean, in that episode or in general?
In general.
It's very funny. Adam and Eddie and I have talked about this, but actually the first time I went in for it, I'm one of those that I just I prepare my lines, I come in, I read, and I let them think what they want to. They don't usually ask you that much. You just walk in and walk out. And they, before I walked out, went, "So what do you think about this part?" And I looked at them, I was like, "I'll be honest, guys, I don't know why you're reading me. I don't know why you're reading cisgender actresses." And because we didn't have a rundown of the script, I got no pilot, I didn't know what time period it was in. It for me was strange, because I was like, this seems politically a bit iffy. And they told me about the time period it was, they told me about his backstory and the age he was, and I understood a bit more. But I honestly thought I talked myself out of the job, because I was like, why am I here? There's like an enormous community out there that's been waiting for portrayals, and I do still think that in the grand scheme of things, am I the portrayal the community necessarily wanted? No. But Drew also is not transitioned at all. He's 18 in 1989, and I know the hardships that they face. And they also, I'm one of few cisgender actresses I think they read. They mainly read transgender actors. And unlike my castmates, when I did my audition, I waited and I retested 3 times. Most of them, they auditioned and then just got the part. I was on the hook for about 3 months because they kept saying, we're going to go back and do another round of transgender casting, and I went, absolutely. Let me know when you guys...
And you have to reiterate that a lot on social media, because you've got a lot of hate about that, right?
No, not really. Weirdly, and the funny thing is too, is like a couple of people who are trans who have expressed to me, I wish it was a transgender actor, have said, but we love you and we know how much you actually do care about the community. And so it's not an argument. I absolutely go, I understand. I understand why you would want a transgender actress for this part. And in that circumstance, for me, there's no argument, because I do get it and I am listening, but I'm also already halfway through it, and like I can't be like, oh God, I'm so sorry, and leave. I'm going to continue to be Drew as honestly as I can. And truthfully, a lot of people have also reached out to me and said thank you. And also a lot of the male identifying members I've talked to, especially the ones who are young, they were so recently still having to live as a woman. And so it's not as strange for them to see someone who is a woman having to live as a guy. At least in the way they expressed it to me, they were just really grateful that someone was telling a story like that at all. And I've spent long conversations on Tumblr and on Twitter talking to them and hearing their stories, and I'm really grateful for that.
I love that the mom abandoned her, because it's not all like happy endings everywhere, you know? You see happy endings on TV all the time. It doesn't always work out like that, you know?
Yeah, his episode is not a happy ending episode.
Right, yeah.
Even remotely.
So I thought that was pretty authentic.
So there'd be no conflicts if nothing had happened. And truthfully, also Mark and I are really close. We lived together while we've been shooting, and we even had long conversations about, and he is gay. And if you were to be seeing someone or to be interested in someone and then find out they were trans, and how you would handle that. And the gay community knows very well that that's a big issue for them. It doesn't really happen as often as they think that it just works out, because for obvious reasons it's still something that people are learning about, let alone getting used to. Getting used to is many steps down the line, and it's going to take a lot more portrayals and a lot more stories and a lot more people actually understanding before they stop being afraid of it.
And speaking of Mark,
one more question.
Okay.
Or email.
You can text me. I think I have yours. If not, or email. I'll see you guys.
Speaking of Mark, what's coming up for Drew and Blair? Speaking of Mark, what's coming up for the two of them?
I can't spoil that for you guys. I can say that from this point on, because you've seen Drew's past and he got to leave behind a lot of what haunted him, moving forward, it's very much from a place of complete honesty for him, at least in the way that is important for him not feeling haunted. And so it's very present, and it's a lot of him getting to actually take part in friendships and in what's going on and help people. And that's very interesting too, because for the first 5 episodes, I basically would like walk in and out of a scene. Like I'd be like, oh yeah, and then I'd leave. And it was very weird filming too, because there would be multiple days where it's like everyone was there doing stuff, and they would be stuck there for 7 hours, and I'd literally show up for an hour and be like, yeah, no, I agree, and then leave. So I've had a much easier filming schedule by a long shot. But from 5 on, it's actually been a lot more intense, and we shoot a lot of nights, so we all have gotten real close and cuddled in places and in positions that you wouldn't understand, just to stay warm in Vancouver at 4 a.m.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.